So we got the motherfucking man Chainge Picasso in the building, man. Let the people know who you are, where you from, and what the fuck you do, baby. I didn't say who you from.
Yes, you did.
I said who you from.
Yeah.
Shit, it's that No Advisory Punch. Sponsored by No Advisory Punch.
Shout out to the No Advisory Punch for sure.
Facts.
That's an uppercut.
I ain't gonna say it again though. Shit, it's over.
Yeah, man, I'm Chainge Picasso. I grew up on the coast kind of thing, but lived all over North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? But I do it all, almost. Except here's the thing. Like when I say I do it all, I don't be doing it for like I do all this shit. I really don't even tell a lot of people what I do. Right. Just because I just, whatever builds the brand of Chainge Picasso up is what I kind of get done. So if I got to pay somebody or if I got to do the shit, I'll do that shit.
Right.
And I tell you what, one thing that I've done was I used to do my own videos because there wasn't none of that back where I'm from. I'm from the woods, right. Bro. I'm from the sticks. Like people get lost in the woods and shit. Like you know what I'm saying? Shit. Like that type of shit.
You ever got somebody lost in the woods?
Nah, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Right. I went to school and hung in the trap. That was it.
You ain't never tried to sneak off with a girl once?
Oh nah, come on now. We was savages back in the day. we was 16 drinking Mac Dog 2020, about to go to the club and shit in the country because the access was there. You know what I mean?
Respect.
So let the people know, man, because you know, we have done business in the past, man. Let me say that this guy right here is an extraordinary fucking photographer. If you haven't seen his photography work, go on his go on the Instagram. You got the website too?
Yeah, it's just Instagram.
Go on the Instagram list. He got this shit. He got this on the cameras and shit, right? Picasso Visions. But then he came to me. He was like, "Yo, I want to come on the show." Yeah. So I'm like, "All right, what the fuck? You want to talk about photography?" I'm thinking he gonna talk about some photography. Right. This nigga dropped a single on me. Right. And I listen to everybody's music. Like people give me CDs and shit all the time. I'm like, let me listen to it. If you whack, you're not gonna get a response back. Right. You're definitely not. But I played it. And I was like, oh, this motherfucker, he's rapping, he's spitting. Yeah. That shit is hard, B. Yeah. So let the people know, like, have you always had the rapping in you? Have you always wanted to do it? What made you go from like, all right, I'm doing photography, I nailed that, and be a rapper?
By the time I was 18, I had put out like 4 mixtapes with a group of cats. You feel me? Right. Like we was like the original ASAP mob and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like how they handle their shit. Like we was doing that shit too. Right. And had that shit lit, and that shit just turned into something. Like honestly, I didn't even want to be a rapper. I wanted to be like a Diddy type person. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to invest in people. That. You feel me? Like even to this day, I invest in people. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, but it turned into this, the music, the rhyming. Like I tell you what kind of hooked me into rap was watching J Mills versus Murder Mook.
That battle, yeah, that's an epic battle.
Yeah, word. Like I remember when that came out. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like you think you don't even realize how, like you look at it now, HD ain't even alive back then. You can look at it shit fuzzy. You're like, who is that? Like you gotta read through the blur. You know what I mean? But that type of shit is where the bars, you know, the love for the bars, the respect for the game. You know what I mean?
Facts.
My mom, she ain't even really let the rap come into the. Like I ain't get on the music till I was like 8. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like my first rap song was Biggie, can't you see?
Sometimes your word just hypnotize me. And
that was my first. That was my first rap song. But look, at the same time, I didn't even hear the record. Like my cousins.
Wait, hold up. I just saying the whole Biggie shit. I was off, right?
No, nigga, I think he was gonna do his way. You just.
I know I just went and did Biggie.
Yeah, I turned him up. Hey, look, I turned him up. That's all. I'm gonna turn him up. Listen.
I just caught myself.
Listen. But I ain't know. Look, I didn't even hear the record though. That's the crazy part. You feel me? I didn't even hear the record.
Right. Shut up. That's not funny.
Listen, I didn't even hear the record. They was singing the shit. Cause my mom, man, she was on the preacher stuff. You know what I mean?
Your mom was a preacher?
Yeah, she was going to church. She was with it. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't none of that going down in the house. You know what I'm saying? At that point in time,
they didn't have hip hop Christian.
Yeah. Like they, I was like, yo, what's that song y'all was singing the other day? What was that? How it go, Biggie? And they put me onto the hook. That was the only thing I knew at the point in time. Right. That was my first seed of music and shit. Like that right there. And I took that shit and ran with it. You know what I mean? Turned it into the day.
Facts. But go ahead, man. I'm tired of asking all the questions, man. I'm hot.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the battle between J Mills and Murder.
Facts.
So growing up, was that kind of the way you started to, I guess, develop your flow? Did you battle with like some of your peers?
I won't say battle. Like I didn't ever do a battle or nothing like that. I did keep one like 64 verse just for purposes, you know what I'm saying? Just in case, because I was in that mentality. But, like, the real shit came from, because we used to do, like, it was a group of us. It was like 6 of us, and we was calling ourselves Team Hardest, you know what I'm saying? And when we like, if y'all look back, I would never show that music right now, you know what I'm saying? I really wouldn't. I really wouldn't. But at the time it was happening, like, we was going in there kind of competing with each other with the best verse, you know what I'm saying? Like, like that was the main goal, who had the best verse internally. Like, we sold the music as a team, you know what I'm saying? But when we was in the booth, we kind of went like that, and it was just that mentality. And I tell you, I was a big Wayne fan. I was a big Lox fan. I was a big pretty much anybody that was lyrical. You know what I'm saying? I was into that shit.
Right.
It took me a while to get on shit like Gucci Mane. When Gucci Mane and them started coming out, it took me a while to get on to that. Mm-hmm. And I was DJing too, so I used to have to play that shit. And I was like, man, you want to hear the Gucci? All right, you know, but. Through the DJing shit, it actually grew on me, actually. And you started having to listen to the trap. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, you talking the trap shit, I get it. I'm with you.
Yeah, you had to adapt with the times. That's pretty much what it is.
Got to.
Speaking on that, like, what is your rap style per se? Because I mean, you just came out of left field with this shit. I just known you as Picasso, nigga, the photographer and shit. He came out with a whole fucking song that was hot.
Hey man, listen man, I've been trying to make it the whole time. You feel me? Like I wouldn't be doing this shit if I didn't think I could do it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you gonna hear another one. I got plenty more lined up all year. It's all year with this shit, you feel me? So that's nothing. But like, if I had to define the message that I'm trying to push, like, I try to push it through my visuals. I try to push it through who I work with. I try to push it through, you know, through just communication. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And networking, just the vibes. You know what I'm saying? The positive vibes. You know, it's enough money in the world for everybody in here to get rich. You know what I mean? And I just try to get that wave off every time. I don't come in hating. I come in congratulating and. Right. And if you got it, like, you got it, like, y'all shit hot, you know what I'm saying? Like, I fuck with your shit. Like, there was a time where I was in the city. When I moved to the city, I've been here like 10 years, you know what I'm saying? And when I first got here, I was just trying to find my way, you know what I'm saying? So I seen a lot of shit come just showing up to places, and I see who's still here and shit, you know what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful thing to appreciate, you know what I'm saying, while it's happening. And that's the type of person that I am. So when I make the music, I wanna kind of turn the person who didn't think that they could be whatever they wanted to be. It don't gotta be a rapper, you feel me? Everybody and their mama rap. I understand if you don't want to get in that shit. You know what I'm saying? That's a fucked up game anyway, you know what I mean? But like, whatever it is though, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to be a podcast, you want to get your own radio show, you can start where you want to start at, bro. You start in your living room if you got to, and look where it grow to. You know, I believe in manifestation, you know what I'm saying? So that's why they call me Chainge, you know what I mean? Like, I keep changing.
Yo, if y'all ain't get a fucking history lesson out of that whole spiel.
Not a history lesson.
Listen.
I'm saying that was positive shit right there, man.
That's a fact.
Like motivational, you know.
Right.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's the type of music that I'm trying to bring. I'm trying to bring out, you know, like, it was a point in time in my life where I was real down, you know what I mean? Like, I had lost everything that I have ever owned, and I came from nothing, you feel me?
Right.
So that was the first time, like, I built out of the gutter something that I could stand on, and I lost all that shit. You understand what I'm saying? I lost the love of my life. I lost everything. I lost my car. I lost my house. I lost every material item that I had from a couple events. You know what I'm saying? And I was really at the bottom of that shit. I was ready to take myself out. You know what I'm saying? I was really contemplating. I would go sit in parking lots just like, yo, like, shit, what the fuck?
The suicide line.
You know what I'm saying?
You need to have that shit.
Like I'm way past that. That was years ago. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, it was that moment where I you know, it was just me and God at that point, you know what I mean? Like, cause wasn't nobody, like, everybody that you thought would, you know, be there for you wasn't there for you, you know what I'm saying? And you ain't had really nobody to talk to, but whoever would, you know what I mean, might hear your conversation, and, you know, they might not agree because you on the wrong path. Like, if you keep negative in your life, that negative is gonna storm up and pile up, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's inevitable. You can't avoid that. You know what I mean? So if you let that shit happen, it'll take you to a dark place where you ain't never been. You feel me? And if the times is rough, you know what I mean? And then that negativity, that shit start adding up. You get to a point where you don't even know what you questioning what you know. You know what I'm saying? But it was, I don't know what it was. It was just something whispering in my ear, you know what I mean, just to keep going. And I ended up keep going. And like, I'm like a boss at a company right now. You know what I'm saying? On the regular, I do my own thing with the video photography. That shit took off like I never seen that shit coming. You wouldn't ask me 10 years ago would I be a photographer. I'd say hell nah, I ain't know nothing about no damn camera.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
And you one of the best in the city.
Yeah, like that's how. And the crazy how I came on with photography is crazy. It was an accident. That shit's like one of them damn how they say the Big Bang effect type shits. It was just like something like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to when I was rapping, I was trying to do my own shit, so I was doing my graphics for me. You know what I'm saying? And the first thing I moved to Charlotte, the first job I seen was something needing Photoshop. I said, really? I knew this was something. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, how many times you gonna see Photoshop jobs? So I applied for it. Turned to find out I wasn't doing no kind of Photoshop. That shit was some bullshit. It was sales photography. Sales photography. It was like, yo, stay here on the green screen.
Got your ass.
They got you in there.
Yeah. You just need to know how to move the shit around and shit. As long as you can operate Photoshop,
Oh, wait, you one
good.
of the niggas like, you know when we go to them amusement parks or something at the green.
Yeah. Same
right
company,
there.
bro. That's the same company in most of the amusement parks, bro. Shout to them, bro. It ain't but like 2 or 3 of them shits, bro. But at the same time, like one of the cats that was there, he seen that I won't say that I was intrigued. I wanted to be a photographer, but he know that I like to, figure something out. You know what I'm saying? If I'm attached to it. So he was like, well, if you actually did this, it'll turn the picture that way. If you did that, it'll turn the picture. And I was like, something. I was like, what else you got? What else you got? You know what I'm saying? That shit turned into this. You know what I mean? Shout out to him because he ended up being like the lead belt photographer for like the last 30 years at that point. You know what I'm saying? Okay. He was in retirement and shit. And I had no idea. You know what I'm saying? It was. Right. It just happened to be that way. So
Facts.
I got a hell of a head start on the photography shit.
And it's good that you was open to really just trying to learn a new skill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people, I feel like a lot of people when they try to have these dreams and ambitions, and they get basically just kind of like in a tunnel vision of I'm only gonna focus on this one thing, and if that doesn't work out, then they just kind of go off the deep end and just be doing some wild shit. But it's like you found like different, basically different skills that all kind of correlate into the entertainment industry as a whole, whether it's DJing, photography, even rapping, like all those things really kind of come together. And, hopefully, like, that's something that any aspiring artist or entrepreneur really should keep in mind. It's like, hey, like, if you got one ambition, one goal, okay, but, like, find some other skill that correlates with that as well, that it can also help sustain yourself. And, you know what I'm saying, to support yourself, because you never know what kind of opportunities and blessings that can come your way.
That's a fact.
Oh shit! Round of applause for that.
All these gems.
It's not a fucking. This is a fucking educational show. Came in talk about music, but motherfuckers dropping education and shit.
Yeah, it's deeper than rap, bro.
It's deeper than rap.
Real shit.
Facts.
That's a fact.
And I was gonna ask like what your story is, but you already just gave your whole fucking story.
Yeah.
So, like for people that's getting into the game, because man, like I said, man, we alluded to it before. Like it's just so much fucking rappers, man. It's like
so many
rappers.
I thought it was a lot back then.
No shit now, but you know why I think it's so much more rappers now, because it's not about lyrics no more. So like somebody could just get on the mic and be like hip hop boom ba bang bang boom.
It's about the beat.
About the beat, right? And they're like, if motherfucker put out and kids make a song to it, the kids like it, it's a hit. And that's what I was telling you. Sometimes you gotta just make some shit that kids dance with.
But really, I think it's also just with the advancement of the internet. You know what I'm saying? The social media as a whole. That's really because it's not like we just to keep it 100. We had some kind of out there music in the early 2000s as well. We had Yin Yang Twins and
that was the beginning of the end.